Do you think you need thousands of dollars to live a comfortable retirement? The truth is, with just $100 a week, there are places where you can not only get by, but live like a humble king. With a home, delicious food, friendly neighbors, and even time to breathe. Sounds unbelievable, right? But the fact is, thousands of American retirees are already living this way in peaceful, welcoming countries. Take Morocco, for example, where $200 a month is enough to rent a home with a balcony overlooking the old market, and every day you'll be invited to sip mint tea. Or the Philippines, a tropical paradise where just a few dollars buy you a meal of freshly grilled fish, followed by neighbors inviting you to sing karaoke late into the night. And there are 3 more countries, so cheap you won't believe it, yet offering healthcare, safety, and a warm expat community. Can you guess which ones? Watch until the end, because one of them might just be the new home for your retirement. Comment below with the country you'd love to try living in, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the journeys ahead. Who knows? Your retirement-changing adventure could begin with this very video. Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. Morocco. The kingdom of mint, tea, and vanishing bills. In the U.S., $1,000 a month sometimes only keeps you afloat in the grind of life. Half a month's rent, a few bottles of medicine, then another sigh at the electric bill, as if someone slapped a parking ticket on your windshield. But in Morocco, the entire cost of living, from housing, food, to utilities and internet, is only about $400 to $500 USD a month. That's right. With just half of what you spend in America, you can live comfortably, even with plenty left over to enjoy life. Try setting foot in Essaouira, a breezy and peaceful seaside city. A 1-bedroom apartment, where opening the door in the morning means hearing the waves crashing, costs only about $350 to $400 USD a month. If you live a bit farther from the center, it's even cheaper, around $280 to $300 USD. Electricity, water, and internet together add another $40. So the whole monthly living cost circles around $400 to $450 USD, less than an internet plus cable bill in New York. Food is so cheap, it makes you laugh. A humble restaurant meal with grilled lamb, vegetable salad, plus a glass of mint tea poured high with foamy bubbles is just $4 to $5. With $20 at the market, your basket is full of vegetables, fresh fish, and spices for the whole week. With $100 a week, you can have 3 delicious meals a day, occasionally dine at a fancy restaurant, and still have enough left to sip coffee by the sea with your neighbors. Getting around doesn't thin your wallet either. Buses cost only half a dollar. Taxis a few miles are $6 to $7, not even equal to a short Uber ride in the US. And most important is the lifestyle. Mornings with mint tea, afternoons strolling the Medina market, evenings on the rooftop catching the sea breeze. In America, $500 is a string of worries. In Morocco, it's the key to a leisurely and colorful life. Immigration policies are also quite relaxed. U.S. citizens are exempt from a 90-day visa. If you want to stay longer, you can apply for a residence card, only needing to prove a retirement income of about $1,000 USD a month and have legal housing. For many Americans, a $2,500 pension back home is just enough to scrape by. But here it turns you into someone carefree. With a home, good meals, and extra to visit Agadir to watch the sea or ride camels under the starry sky of the Sahara. To see it more clearly, listen to the story of James, 68, from Florida. In the U.S., he lived in a small apartment costing $1,200, with medical bills rising faster than his hair could grow. One day, he read that in Morocco, with the same amount, People lived comfortably like kings. He sold off some belongings, flew to Marrakesh with the mindset of trying once just to see. The result? The apartment with a balcony overlooking the street he rented was only $320. A private doctor visit cost just $15, the same as a tip in America. After a few weeks, neighbors treated him like family, inviting him to eat tagine, teaching him how to brew mint tea the proper way. James laughed and said, "In America, I lived to pay bills, but in Morocco, I live to tell stories." And to this day, he still hasn't thought of going back. Healthcare in Morocco is also more reliable than many imagine. Public hospitals are crowded and limited, but private hospitals in Casablanca and Rabat are modern, with many doctors speaking French and even English. A private consultation costs only $10–20, money that in the US might not even cover parking fees at a hospital. Foreigners often buy international insurance for major issues, while everyday services are completely within reach. Speaking of safety, Morocco is not an absolute paradise, but fairly trustworthy. Violent crime is rare, mostly pickpocketing in crowded markets, no different from what you may have experienced in Times Square. And what keeps people staying isn't just the low cost, but the hospitality. Moroccans are famously friendly. After just a few days of acquaintance, they may invite you home, pour mint tea, and tell you stories of ancestors who were craftsmen in the Medina. For Americans used to a more closed lifestyle, this warmth may feel awkward at first, but it's exactly what makes you feel truly alive. And of course, what makes Morocco the kingdom of mint tea and vanishing bills is its colorful lifestyle. You can sip French-style coffee in Rabat in the morning, stroll Marrakech's old market at noon, and ride a camel on Sahara's golden sands in the evening. The cuisine is a symphony of flavors: slow-cooked tagine, rich couscous, honey-drenched pastries. Mint tea is not just a drink, it's a ritual, a reminder to slow down a little. For Americans struggling with retirement, Morocco feels like an open door. Back home, $1,000 only helps you manage bills. In Morocco, that money gives you a balcony apartment, fresh meals, accessible health care, and leisurely afternoons basking in the sun. So the real question isn't, is Morocco cheap? But, do you want to spend your money paying bills, or to buy yourself a more meaningful life, where a neighbor's smile and a hot glass of mint tea become your daily remedy? And what about you? If given the chance, would you trade a rent bill in America for carefree days in Morocco? Share your thoughts in the comments. Who knows? The next story I tell might just be your journey. 4. Philippines. The land of smiles and hammock afternoons. If Morocco is the land of mint tea and sunlit deserts, then the Philippines is like a cool glass of coconut water on a white sandy beach, sweet, refreshing, and full of ease. Here, $100 a week won't make you a billionaire, but it's enough for a seaside home. 3 meals of fresh grilled fish each day, and most importantly, smiles that are never absent around you. The cost of living in the Philippines is so charming, it makes you want to exclaim, "Indeed, there are places in the world where money alone doesn't determine quality of life." A tidy room with a balcony facing the sea in Dumaguete or Bacolod costs only about $150–180 per month. Eating isn't burdensome either. $80–100 covers 3 full meals with rice, fish, fresh vegetables, and even golden mangoes. In fact, with just a few dollars, you can sit at a small roadside eatery, order a plate of pancit, stir-fried noodles, a portion of grilled fish, plus a cool calamansi drink. In America, $10 only gets you a dull fast food meal. Here, $10 can buy a small feast filled with hearty laughter. Electricity, water, and internet together cost about $50 a month, less than what you'd pay for just cable TV in the US. And if you need to get around, a jeepney ride is only 20-30 cents, while renting a motorbike to cruise around the island is just $30 a month. Compare that. In the US, a full tank of gas swallows dozens of dollars. Here, that same amount of money could take you around the whole island. But what truly makes the Philippines special isn't in the numbers, it's the people. Locals here are gentle, hospitable, and treat community as family. You can go to the market just a few times and already be called friend, accompanied by a smile so wide you'll wonder if they ever get sad at all. They sing karaoke everywhere, in cafes, on beaches, even in corner shops. Sometimes you'll see an entire neighborhood singing together, even if no one is on beat. Yet it's exactly this optimism that makes Americans, so used to stress, feel as if they've been brought back to childhood. There's a story I really love about John, 72, from Oregon. He came to Dumaguete just to try living for a month, because he'd heard the cost was low. Yet 4 years have gone by, and he still hasn't gone back. He said, "I used to think living cheap meant living poor. But here, living cheap makes me feel richer. Richer in relationships, richer in time, richer in freedom." Now every afternoon, he lies in a hammock strung between 2 coconut trees, listening to neighbors sing Mariah Carey songs on karaoke, and quietly smiles. This is the life. The Philippine government is also welcoming to retirees. The SRRV, Special Resident Retirees Visa, program for people over 50 is extremely friendly. You only need a retirement income of $800 a month and a $10,000 deposit in the bank to receive a long-term visa. No more visa runs or worrying about being forced to leave. On top of that, pensions from the US are not taxed in the Philippines, meaning every dollar you bring over stays intact, not vanishing like in many other places. Healthcare in the Philippines is also a highlight. In Manila or Cebu, you can easily find modern private hospitals with doctors who speak fluent English. A private consultation is only about $20, and even a minor surgery costs just a few hundred, while in the US, it could be tens of thousands. On small islands, medical equipment may be limited, but thanks to the cheap and fast domestic flight system, you can always reach a big city when needed. Of course, every paradise has its challenges. The Philippines lies in a region prone to strong typhoons, especially in Luzon or Samar. But if you choose areas like Visayas or Mindoro, the risk is much lower. And even when storms hit, communities here face it with a smile. They grill fish, light lanterns, and sing karaoke louder than the wind. So the Philippines isn't just cheap. It gives you something luxurious that many Americans can't buy in retirement. The feeling of belonging to a community. The sense that every day someone is waiting for you, inviting you to dinner or to join Auntie's birthday party across the street. In the US, $100 might only buy a bag of groceries. Here, $100 is a week of easy living, good food, hearty laughter, and naps with the sound of the sea. So if one day you find yourself too exhausted from chasing bills in America, would you be willing to trade it for an afternoon in a hammock by the Philippine Sea, where the breeze is cool, the grilled fish smells delicious, and your neighbors are calling you over to sing karaoke? If yes, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next journeys. Because who knows, the place that transforms your retirement might just be the destination I tell next. 3. Albania, the forgotten Mediterranean gem. If Morocco is the kingdom of mint tea, and the Philippines the land of smiles, then Albania is like a gem forgotten on the map of the Mediterranean. People often talk about Italy, Greece, Croatia, but rarely mention Albania, a place of blue seas, green mountains, fresh food, and costs so low you'd think you miscalculated. In Albania, $360 covers an entire month of easy living. A one-bedroom apartment in Vlora or Durrës costs about $150–200 per month, and with just 40 more, you get a balcony facing the Adriatic Sea. Electricity, water, and internet are only $40. Food is surprisingly cheap. $15–20 at a local market buys enough vegetables, meat, and fish for the whole week. Eating out is also affordable. A meal of fresh grilled fish, salad, plus a glass of wine is just $6–7. While in New York, that amount would only buy you a sandwich and a latte. The story of Linda, 65, from California, proves it clearly. She went to Vlora just to escape the crowds when Italy was too expensive. But after a few months, she discovered her $1–300 monthly pension in the US was barely enough to get by, while in Albania it was more than enough. She rented a seaside apartment for $180, bought fresh fish at the market every day for a few dollars, and on weekends took a $5 bus ride to Tirana to stroll the old town. She joked, "In America I counted every bill, but in Albania I count every glass of wine I drink." Albania also opens its doors wide to Americans. You can enter without a visa and stay up to 1 year, a rare privilege in Europe. After that, if you want to settle long-term, you can apply for a residence permit that's fairly simple. Just prove you have a stable source of income without needing to buy million-dollar property like in many other countries. For retirees, this is almost a golden ticket to live in Europe at low cost. Healthcare in Albania is still limited compared to Western Europe, but private hospitals in Tirana or Durrës provide good service at reasonable prices. A private doctor visit is about $30–40, and medicine is easy to buy and far cheaper than in the US. Many foreigners choose to buy international insurance or go to Italy or Greece, only a few hours away, when they need top-level medical care. So for everyday needs, Albania is perfectly adequate. As for safety, Albania is one of the most peaceful countries in the Balkans. Serious crime is rare, and the people are extremely hospitable. There's a saying, Albanians will invite you into their home before even asking who you are. The culture here values kinship and hospitality, and for Americans who fear loneliness in retirement, this becomes a major plus. What makes Albania special is its unique combination. In the morning, you can swim in the Adriatic. By noon, a 1-hour drive takes you into the majestic Alps. And in the evening, you're sitting in a small alley cafe, eating Albanian-style pasta at a price so cheap it's hard to believe. It's the feeling of living in Europe but at Balkan prices. Mediterranean charm without burning through your wallet. So if you're an American tired of rising bills, Albania feels like a secret waiting to be discovered. A place where $100 a week is enough not just for food and housing, but to make you feel like you're truly living in a Mediterranean country that's peaceful, affordable, and full of welcoming smiles. What do you think? Would you trade an expensive coffee back in the US for an afternoon by the Albanian seaside, sipping local wine for just a few dollars? If your answer is yes, leave a comment below. 2. Nicaragua, where sunrise costs less than an American cup of coffee. If Albania is the Mediterranean gem, then Nicaragua is like a hammock swaying in Central America, simple, warm, and reminding you that happiness doesn't have to be expensive. In Granada or Leon, those peaceful historic cities, $260, $390 a month is enough for a life of ease. A yellow brick house with a shady banana porch is only $70, $100 per month. In San Juan del Sur, a beachfront apartment is just $200, $250. Electricity, water, and internet add up to about $40. Food is unbelievably cheap. Breakfast with gallo pinto, eggs, and coffee is just $2. $15 at the market covers vegetables, meat, and fish for a whole week. And grilled fish on the street is only $3 to $5. Buses cost 25 to 50 cents. Tuk-tuks $2 to $5. And renting a motorbike for $30 per month lets you roam freely along the lakeside. The story of Rick, 67, from Houston, is the clearest proof. In the U.S., he sat staring helplessly at monthly bills. One day, he saw a photo of Granada glowing gold at sunset and decided to give it a try. 3 months later, Rick had a small house, spent mornings gardening, afternoons reading, and evenings watching the sun go down from his balcony. He laughed and said, "In America, I existed. In Nicaragua, I live." The policies are also extremely welcoming. Americans can stay for 90 days without a visa and easily extend. With a pension of just $600 per month, you qualify for the Pensionado retirement visa, which includes benefits like exemption from foreign income tax and even tax-free import of cars and household goods. For retirees, this truly is a new ticket for a new beginning. Healthcare in Nicaragua is basic, with private consultations costing only $25 to $30. For modern services, you can go to Costa Rica, just a few hours away by car. Security in Granada or León is fairly good, with violent crime being rare. Locals are kind, simple, and treat foreigners like friends. The American and Canadian expat community is large, with many arriving because it's cheap, but staying because of human connection. The most endearing thing about Nicaragua is its rhythm of life. In the morning, you hear church bells ringing. At noon, you go to the market to buy ripe, golden mangoes. In the afternoon, neighbors invite you for coffee. And in the evening, you sit on the porch watching the sunset glowing red over the old tiled roofs. Simple, yet more precious than any bill you ever paid in the U.S. Are you ready to trade in your stack of bills for a lighter life in Nicaragua, where sunrise costs less than a Starbucks coffee? Leave a comment to share your thoughts, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss the next journeys. Who knows? The destination I tell tomorrow might just become your retirement home. 1. Nepal, where time stops and only peace remains. If Nicaragua is the hammock of Central America, then Nepal is like an old book opened in the Himalayas, where time doesn't rush forward, but settles in every drop of golden sunlight. For many Americans, this feels like an unbelievable dream. With only $200 a month, you don't just live, you feel reborn. In Pokhara, the famous lakeside town, a small tin-roofed house with a balcony overlooking lush valleys costs only about $100 to $120 per month. Electricity, water, and internet are as light as a breath, less than $30. Food is surprisingly cheap. $15 to $20 a week is enough for vegetables, rice, red beans, tomatoes, and fragrant Indian spices. Eating out isn't costly either. A steaming bowl of momo with a warm cup of ginger tea is just $1 to $2. In America, that same amount might not even be enough to leave a tip. Life in Nepal is special in the way it slows down, teaching you to breathe along with it. No blaring car horns, no blinding billboards, but the ringing of temple bells, the clack of wooden sandals on cobblestones. In the morning, sunlight filters through wooden shutters, carrying the faint scent of ginger tea. In the afternoon, you sit by Lake Fiwa, watching clouds drift across snow-capped peaks. The story of Tom, 64, from Arizona touches many hearts. After losing his wife and facing skyrocketing rent in the U.S., he felt suffocated. One night, he read that for just $200 a month, he could live in Pokhara. 3 weeks later, he boarded a plane with 2 sets of clothes and an old notebook. Now he lives in a small house overlooking the lake, spending mornings at the market, afternoons reading, and evenings drinking tea with neighbors. He said, "I didn't come to Nepal to reclaim my youth. I came to begin a meaningful old age." In terms of policy, the U.S. and many other countries are granted a 90-day tourist visa right at Kathmandu Airport. Want to stay longer? It's easy to extend or apply for a long-term visa through retirement, volunteering, religious work, or small investment. No strict barriers, no requirements for age or assets. For retired Americans, this feels like an open door to live differently. Public health care in Nepal is still limited, with hospitals crowded and slow. But private clinics in Kathmandu or Pokhara are quite decent, costing only $20–30 per visit. Many expats choose to buy international insurance for more peace of mind, since for high-end services it only takes a short flight to India or Thailand. For basic needs, Nepal is sufficient, and most importantly, it doesn't make your wallet cry. Nepal is also safe and gentle. Violent crime is rare. People are friendly and always willing to help. The expat community in Pokhara and Bhaktapur is fairly large. Americans, French, British, Australians, Canadians, many have lived here for decades, not because they can't go home, but because they no longer have a reason to leave. What makes Nepal special is the way it forces you to ask yourself, what does it mean to be rich? Is it a big house, a luxury car, a schedule packed with work? Or is it simply waking up in a room that faces snowy mountains, drinking a hot cup of ginger tea, shopping for fresh vegetables at the market, and chatting with a neighbor who greets you with a kind smile? So, would you dare trade days of chasing bills in America for a peaceful retirement by the Himalayas, where $200 a month is enough to live at ease, and wealth means having more time to watch clouds drift over the mountains? If yes, leave all your comments below. So, we've just gone through quite a journey, from the vibrant streets of Morocco, the smiling beaches of the Philippines, to the peaceful Mediterranean coast of Albania, the simplicity of Nicaragua, and the stillness of the Himalayas in Nepal. Each place is a doorway to a new way of living, where $100 a week is not just enough to survive, but enough to live beautifully, joyfully, and freely. The message is simple. Retirement doesn't have to be a string of days weighed down by bills. It can be a new chapter, where you rediscover peace, community, and the little joys of everyday life. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, leave a comment about the country you'd love to set foot in, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next journeys. Who knows? One of those journeys might just be the one that changes your retirement.